Hello, I'm Dr. D, also known as Dr. Diane Skafta, and thank you for being with me again as we look into our cards for the day. Ask our guides what they would like to say to us, what hints and images and inspiration and perhaps cautions and encouragements they have to give us. I ask you to hold right now in your mind or say out loud a question that you would like to have guidance on. And although we are reading these cards, and many people will hear at the same time, this is the miracle of oracular communication in that it morphs itself as it reaches our own psychic awareness and configures itself so that we will hear what we need to hear, the messages that are designed uniquely for us. So let me pause for just a moment as we ask our question or ask for clarification on a certain issue or ask for direction in some way that's important to you right now. Let us transition into sacred space. Now that we are in the company of our guides, let us draw cards and listen in with our ears, but also with our intuition about what they're saying to us today. Going to spread the cards out as we often do, as I'm sure you do when you do card divination of any kind, and you just relax. You just let perhaps your hands or your eyes guide you to any card. Sometimes they have almost a shining quality, or they just stand out in your awareness. And we always trust that we get the right symbols at the right time. I have really learned over the so many years that I've been reading cards for myself and others that you cannot draw the wrong symbols. And if somehow there is a message that's missed in those symbols, it will come in a different way, or you'll be inspired to draw another card. I'm always eager to see what it's going to be. The Seven of Spades is one of the heavier cards in the deck. It's one of the more serious cards. And it says to us that we, right now, each of us individually in our own way, but collectively for sure, are living in a very difficult time. Now, this shouldn't alarm us, it shouldn't scare us. They're not saying, oh, you are moving into difficult times. They are saying, you are in difficult times. I love this acknowledgement. I love this acknowledgement for the exalted ones who certainly in their realm of being, and in the realm of being that our higher psyche and our soul lives in, there are not difficulties. There is only that new becoming. But here in the world, no one has to say out loud, I don't think, that these are extraordinary times of upheaval, of structures that have maybe been with us for sometimes like 6,000 years or more historically, collapsing, but new life-giving structures rising, new perspectives rising. The image that was given to me right now is of a city where some of the buildings are just collapsing and roadways are falling, while other beautiful structures are rising amid all the dust and the light and everything shining through, and the booms and the commotions and the cries, and yet the cries of joy. metaphorically, that is the psychic field. That is the world that we are living in. And I say both psychic field and world because around us in the phenomenal, manifested physical world, it is true, as no one has to tell you. And though in the psychic field that holds us all, in which we live, there are tremendous, like huge currents, tidal waves at times, departures, cross currents, so that sometimes we can feel the spin. So I think that it's actually very wise of the guides to begin saying this. If you have been feeling off base, if you have been feeling like troubles are falling upon you, somehow things are not working out, you feel terrifically blocked, or perhaps it's internal. Perhaps you feel anxious and can't always put your finger on it. You feel depressed. You feel scared. You can't sleep well. You wake up vigilant and don't know why. I'm just naming some possibilities that so many people are feeling. I have felt some of this. The guides want us to know, you know what? It isn't you personally. It isn't your life. It's not that you need to be on guard for something like dreadful to happen. You are in a time of an extraordinary change, which can feel chaotic, anxious, producing, and yet it is absolutely necessary for the transformations and the new ways of being in the world that we are all moving into. And I feel certain that as a spiritual being, you already know this in your heart, but that doesn't mean it's easy to be in the midst of it. So I hope they're going to give us some cheerful reassurance here. We'll see. Oh, this is quite dear. The Four of Clubs is the card of you are being supported. There are a few support cards in the deck. The Four of Clubs talks about physical support, material support, and a biological support. So this is quite reassuring, I find, saying that even though it might feel as though you're in a spin, even though it might feel that the foundation is cracking and maybe you'll fall out from under you, you feel worried about finances, about what's going to happen next, about perhaps health issues, especially in the area of the physical, the material, the everyday living is what the Four of Clubs is speaking about. The guides are saying there are structures under you which perhaps you can't see with the physical eyes right now, or perhaps look like they're not there or are in threat of maybe disappearing. They want to assure you, you will be supported. Your health will be supported. Your energy will be supported. Where you live will be supported. You'll have all the material structures that you need to live, to stay secure, to stay on an even keel while things are shaking around you. What they recommend right now is when any of us feel anxious, and hey, we are human beings, of course we're going to feel anxious, of course we're going to feel doubt, we're going to respond to what we're seeing around us. Our hearts are going to ache for other people around us and in the world. But they're asking us to pull out of those feelings in as much as possible. And we can do that by getting quiet, perhaps going to a place of nature, or being with music that is really elevating for you, or being in a surrounding, or just in a quiet place. And closing your eyes, taking 3 deep breaths, and feel what it would be like to be completely supported, physically, materially, and in terms of the structures of your life. Just get the feeling of that, how anchored it would be, how calm it would be, and solid. That is the spiritual truth of it. And so by meditating on that, by imaging that, by feeling into it, you can actually experience it. And as we know, as you think and as you align yourself, it actually opens even more opportunities and possibilities for those positive areas of support to manifest for you. The King of Clubs is another card to steady us. It says literally, steady as she goes, my friend, steady as she goes. Your job right now in your life and in work that you may be doing on behalf of the greater collective, of the greater world, your job is to do the next best thing. Make sure, metaphorically, that the place you're stepping next is solid. Look down, metaphorically. Ask yourself, is this person I'm getting involved with going to stabilize me? Is this kind of work I'm anticipating going to pull my resources together and make me feel strong? And even like dangerous work, so to speak, can do that if you're the right kind of personality who pull together in times of emergency. Is the move that I'm about to make financially going to make me feel more secure and kind of make me feel more solid? Or is it like a big risk time? And again, unless you really thrive on risk, and some people do, although they're in the minority, the guides are kind of recommending no, that don't take any action, at least, when they give these readings, they mean for the next few weeks maybe. Don't take any actions that are going to destabilize you. That might mean if you're thinking maybe of leaving a relationship, postpone a while. Put it off. You can always leave, possibly. I mean, you know your own situation. If you're in an emergency, no, leave now. But in general, when we're going to make a change, we do have a choice about the timeline. And so, steady as she goes. Try to keep things as stable as they are right now, say for the next 2 weeks. They're saying 2 to 3 weeks. And maybe even 1 week. You'll know when the time is right for you. Because as the globe spins, so to speak, we need to get you into a really steady place where you are just looking straight ahead, taking those sure steps so that you're not caught in the spin. Well, it was a very interesting reading, and I appreciate the approach that the guides took. They recognize that most of the guides, as I experience them, we each have our own personal relationship with that which is beyond the personal self. In so many ways, in so many beautiful forms. And it'll be different for you and different for each of us. But for me, I have a great warmth, a great reassurance when I think about being in connection with guides. Guides who have had earthly lives, many earthly lives, like who know the score, who really know what it is to be human in this world, and yet have ascended past that. So they can give their incredible perspective and yet really know how to help us who are in this phenomenal place right now in our lives. So they understand that in this time of a lot of heartache, a lot of kind of frightening things going on, that we naturally can feel anxious, shaky, uncertain. Therefore, meditate on being held, being secure, feeling like there is a foundation under you, even when your eyes can't see it, even when it doesn't look like there is. In the meantime, in your choices in everyday life, just for a little while, steady as she goes, take that next step. Move in terms of things that will make your life more solid, that avoid, unless there's just an absolute necessity, and you will know that, avoid any radical change for just a little while. And you will see that when you go just a little bit further down the road, things look different to you. And they promise you that you will have guidance along the way, guidance when you get there, guidance as you move there, and guidance in this very moment. I can't help but comment that the card right on the bottom is the card of your wishes coming true, of the deepest desires of your heart on the way to being realized. This is it's only one card in the whole deck that promises this, that assures you. So hold that image in the meantime as you are putting one step in front of the other. Imagine moving towards that which you can imagine, which would be so right for you, because in a deepest way, it's already written into the foundation of your life. I so appreciate your being with me in these readings. It's because of you that I feel I can speak this way, that I am even more open to what the exalted ones have to say to us. And I offer so many blessings to you along the way, along your path. And I look forward to when we will soon meet again with the guides.